So I have some notes right here. I'm trying to make sure I look at the camera right. Okay. So the first one I have is ChatGPT doesn't know my current friends and then my friends from the past. So one example, I had a friend in the 3rd grade. He was like the nicest guy ever. He's one of the newest people I've met whenever I moved to a new school. No, he was in the 4th grade. And up to that point, like, he was a super cool guy. We talked about Dragon Ball Z, and I don't think we ever talked about Naruto, just Dragon Ball Z. He was a super cool guy. And then one day somebody messed with him. And out of nowhere, he just like, I saw him in a different way because he was not aggressive, but he was very defensive. And, you know, I think the guy ended up like going away or whatever. And then I think maybe the following week or a couple weeks later, I actually saw him get in a fight. And this guy could fight. And I was surprised because he was like the nicest guy ever. Like, you know, we would just joke around, talk about Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff. And whenever I actually saw him fight, like, he could like move around and all that stuff. And I was just so surprised because I saw him as like a nice, calm, just chill guy. But whenever somebody messed with him, like, he was super defensive. And because he could fight, like, he could defend himself. And he was just moving around, boom, boom. He ended up like hitting the guy, and I think they both got in trouble. But so I think that's super cool because with ChatGPT, you can say, you can say, you know, write a character's profile of this guy who can fight and this and that. But the thing is, I think it makes it more special whenever you share from your own personal experiences and just people you've known. And just like your current friends and then friends from the past. Because, I mean, there's like so many interesting people that I'm pretty sure that you've met and that I've met. So I think it's super cool to like incorporate them to our stories and just make it more personal. And I think it's super cool because in a way, it's like a part of you is part of your story. And I think it makes it a whole lot more better than just going ChatGPT and just having this AI simulated. And for me, it's just, I think it makes it more fun because there's like just more of you in the story. All right. And that, you know, there's more examples, but not to number 2. And if I look over here, it's because I'm looking at the camera. I'm trying to get used to looking at myself. I'm trying to get used to looking at the camera. So it's like, I'm not looking in the wrong direction. Number 2, ChatGPT doesn't know my family. I have somebody in my family that whenever she talks on the phone, whether it's like related to work or somebody from work, like a coworker, she kind of has like this white woman voice. I'm Hispanic, so, you know, there's somewhat of a ghetto-ness, like in my family's just like primary language with like the way we communicate with each other. And whenever I hear her talk to certain people, it's like the super white, like, hi, how are you doing? Awesome, okay. And then whenever she's on the phone with like a friend, she's like, yeah, girl, I know what you mean. She's like, man. And it's funny because like the switch. And I think it's super interesting because I can incorporate that into certain characters. Honestly, it can go to like a lot of characters because, you know, in certain groups of people, you're going to talk differently. Like at work, you're going to talk differently than if you're like at a birthday. I mean, if you're with your family or if you're with your best friends. So I think it's very interesting. Just like seeing her like just like switch. It's the funniest thing ever. Because she'll be on the phone for a little bit and, you know, she goes to like the white woman voice. And then after she hangs up, it's like back to normal. And then if somebody else calls like a really good friend, it's like she has like this ghetto, like Mexican / like black voice. And I freaking love it. And cause just like for a couple years, I went to school where just like Mexicans and just black people. And I kind of prefer that where it's like the ghetto. And of course, there's white people too. It's just like, just in my area. That's kind of like how normal too. So that's why, that's a downfall. That's a flaw of ChatGPT because it can't make that person. It can make a person with those characteristics, but it can't make the exact person of who I know. And of course, there's other people in my family, like they do certain things that are funny. And I think as the first point, I think it makes it more personable because I can just like extract those characteristics and put them into my characters. So it just, excuse me, I have a heartburn. I had some tacos and a mocha frappe from McDonald's. So, so 2, it doesn't know my family. Number 3, ChatGPT doesn't know me. So, there's been a lot of moments where I kind of just like take a step back, and if it's like certain aspects I'm working on, like just being insecure about some stuff or whatever's happening. And one thing I realized is like, so me, like I'm normally just like, I'm mostly just like an introverted person. But if I have to for like business and make cold calls or whatever, I'll kind of like I'll turn the switch on and just be like extroverted, just so you know, just for running a business, like you have to do that stuff. But one thing I noticed is like, whenever I get really mad because I can't get something down or I suck at it, for example, I'm playing racquetball, I just get super mad and I start cussing like a lot. And normally I only cuss whenever I play like FIFA or if I just like super mad at something, like maybe I'm playing soccer or something and I keep missing the goal, or maybe my hamstrings are really tired and my forms are getting crappy and I'm making horrible shots, and I get super pissed. And one thing I noticed too is like whenever I was playing racquetball with some friends, they kind of just knew me as, cause you know, I just recently met them and it was like at college and we were just playing racquetball, and they mostly knew me as like at this point I was just like a really religious person and I really didn't cuss. They kind of knew more as like the happy, introverted, kind of like just shy kid. And we're playing racquetball and I sucked at it. And next thing you know, I just started cussing, and they all looked at me and they're all super surprised because I really never cussed or anything. And they're like, did you just cuss? And and the thing is, it's just because I don't like losing and I just hate messing up. And I kind of just took a step back and I was like, so I'm known as this, so I kind of just was thinking from like their point of view. It was like, I'm this shy kid, I really don't cuss, I really don't drink or do anything. And out of nowhere, it's like they see this person who's like quite shy, all this, and out of nowhere, it's like they're cussing, and it's like going, I'm not saying cussing is bad, but it's just because like they've never heard me cuss. And then it went from 0 to 100 because I was just messing up. I was just cussing every hit, bam, bam, bam. And I was super pissed. I was just like hitting like the ball really hard. And I just thought about it and I was like, after like that happened, because I was mad, I didn't care. And I kind of just took a step back and I was like, they normally just see me as this quiet, just kind of introverted person. And out of nowhere, I was mad, I was pissed, I was just boom, boom, hitting the ball, super mad, like. And, you know, like ChatGPT doesn't know that about me. I mean, it can create a character has those certain characteristics, but it doesn't know who I am. And like, you know, whenever I take a step back, and this can be applied to you too. Like we all have like these characteristics to where it's like they're special because it's different from everybody else. Maybe you're, you know, like in my situation where you're pretty much like introverted, quiet. You really don't say that much when you get mad or whatever. But whenever you get really, really mad, it's like you flip the switch. You don't care who's in the room. You're cussing, you're getting mad. You're kicking the shit out of stuff. And it's like, where'd that come from? And it's like, you know what I mean? To people on the outside, it would surprise them because they're not used to seeing you like that. And yeah, so that's, I keep on going, but yeah, there's like 3 things why I don't use ChatGPT. Because there's no my current friends and my family. I mean, current friends and my old friends. And it can't recreate them. ChatGPT doesn't know my family. I don't know if someone did number 1. Number 2, so ChatGPT doesn't know my family. So I can't recreate them. And it doesn't know me, which, I mean, I'm still learning a lot about myself. So those 3 reasons why I just don't use ChatGPT. Because I want to make my manga that's like, has a lot of aspects from people I know and like I've been around in life, and then also aspects of me. So I think it makes one personable. So I mean, is it bad to use ChatGPT? No. Will I ever? No. I will never use ChatGPT for my manga. because I just have like so many different ideas and crazy ideas I want to pull from just people I know, and then kind of just a blend with other characteristics of other people I know. So I have so much in the cloud to pull from. So I would never need to use ChatGPT to create interesting characters, because I've met a lot of pretty interesting people.